Shabbat Shalom umevorach. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This week we'll be reading Parashat Va'era. And we know in this parasha, in last week's parasha, Bnei Yisrael is enslaved by Paro. And it wasn't just a regular enslavement, they were really tortured physically, mentally. Paro didn't give them a second to breathe. He made them work continuously, and the work only got harder and harder. And mentally also, they used to build things, Chazal tell us, and they used to break it down in front of them. So they're really being tortured. And meanwhile, in last week's parasha, HaKadosh Baruch Hu appears to Moshe. And he tells Moshe, I didn't forget the promise that I gave Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, that I'm going to take Am Yisrael out of Mitzrayim, and I want you to be the leader. And I want you to take the Jews out of Mitzrayim and make them a nation till Matan Torah and become Am Yisrael, who we are today. So after HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells us to Moshe, Moshe comes to Bnei Yisrael and tells them, Rabotai, my name is Moshe, and God sent me to come and save you. I'm coming with amazing and exciting news. I'm coming to take you out of Mitzrayim. But what does the pasuk say? The pasuk says, Velo shamu el Moshe mikotzer ruach u'ma'avoda kasha. Am Yisrael did not listen to Moshe because they were so overloaded and fogged up with their work. And the question is, why didn't Am Yisrael listen? If you tell a prisoner that's sitting in prison and being tortured, and you come to him and say, hey buddy, I'm going to take you out of this prison, he should be ecstatic. He should be so excited. He should be ready to run, jump. Someone's coming to save him. Moshe Rabbeinu came to Am Yisrael, Bnei Yisrael, and said, hey, I'm taking you guys out. I'm taking you out of your misery. But how come the pasuk says they didn't listen to Moshe? They ignored him. They didn't care about this good news. So we have to understand what is going on over here. Am Yisrael was so overloaded with work and so much enslaved by Paro, he didn't give them a second to breathe. He made them work 24/7. And because they were so much indulged in their enslavement, and there was so much in their torture and their sufferings, their mind was fogged up. They couldn't think about tomorrow. They couldn't even think about themselves. All they could think about is work, 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 and being tortured from Paro. So even though Moshe Rabbeinu came with amazing news that I'm going to take you out of Mitzrayim, they couldn't hear. They were deaf because all they could hear is about working more and being more tortured. So even if it was good news, it didn't matter what Moshe said. He could tell them it's raining, it's snowing, I'm going to take you out today. Doesn't matter. They couldn't hear a thing because they were so fogged up. And that's why Am Yisrael didn't listen to Moshe, and they ignored him, or they even sounded deaf when Moshe said, I'm going to take you out of Mitzrayim. In life, Rabotai, many times we get fogged up, whether it's about business or family or tragedies, and we forget about certain things. And sometimes people will tell us things, or there is good news or bad, and again, we become deaf, just like Am Yisrael was. But there's one thing different that I want to add, that we have, and the Jews then did not have. The Va'era explains that you know why Am Yisrael was deaf to Moshe? Because it's still a question. Even though I understand they were busy and they were so much enslaved. But someone tells you such good news that you're going to get out of your misery, and they couldn't hear that. You know why, Rabotai? Because this was a time of Am Yisrael before they received the Torah. They still didn't receive the Torah Akdosha. And the Va'era says that when we have the Torah like we have today, it clears up your mind. When someone opens a Sefer, opens the Chumash, it clears up your mind from worriness or misery. But Am Yisrael and Mitzrayim did not receive the Torah yet. So for them, they couldn't fathom of thinking of anything else. They couldn't have any clarity because all they could think about and all they had was Paro punishing them and enslaving them. What does that mean to us, Rabotai? We are so lucky that we have the Torah Akdosha. We are so lucky that we have Am Yisrael who we are today. We have the Borei Olam. And in life, we get fogged up many times. Sometimes we don't have time to breathe. We're too busy with our business, too busy with different mundane things. But if we have the Torah, and we do have the Torah, and we realize that if we sit and learn a few minutes a day, and not only that, and if learning is hard, I have something better. We pray 3 times a day. We put on tefillin. We have Shabbat. It lets us relax. It gives us time to reflect and not be caught up. Because if we get too caught up, we can't think of anyone. and we start disrespecting our friends, start disrespecting our spouses, chas v'shalom, because we're so caught up in our life. But if we relax a little bit, and for us it's easy, because we have the Torah, we have the Tefillah, we have Shabbat Kodesh, that 24 hours we could reflect on ourselves and forget about the world, forget about the news, forget about work. And we really connect HaKadosh Baruch Hu. These Svarim now, Sefer Shemot, is all about Emunah and Bitachon. We have the Torah, we always can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we know everything is for the best. And Be'ezrat Hashem, if we try to take this lesson of learning Torah when we can, whenever we need clarity, the Orach Chaim says, open a Sefer, open the Chumash, just learn, and you'll have answers and you'll have clarity. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll see Mashiach and do Geula very soon. Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach.